everything we're going to go over. Therefore, if you miss the first part or you miss any part in between, it'll always be on Blackboard and also YouTube. So we'll get into that in just a second. But this is, let me put this on home screen so we can make it look like what you guys see. Here we go. Okay, so this is your home page, right, for the class. And again, this is World History 2. So we start 1500 at 1500 CE. And so from here, we go to a couple things I want to show you. Faculty, first of all, this is how you get in touch with me. Okay, this is my email, office phone, but again, nobody's there, right? Because everybody's home from the pandemic. We're all doing virtual. This number here, this 281 number, that's my number through Google, right? It comes directly to my cell phone. So texting is probably the best way to go, but you can call as well and leave a voice message. Again, it's run through Google. We're not supposed to put this on the syllabus, which is why it's not there, but you can always find it here. Okay, so if you need to contact me in a hurry, the Google number is the way to go. Otherwise, we're looking at emails, right? Office hours for this class are going to be Fridays from 9 to 10 and then from 2 to 3. And I'll show you how to get to the office hours. I'm sure you saw the video, the announcement that I sent out on how to get in there. Yes, Mr. Harris. Question? You can't hear. Okay. Ronisha, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me listen here.
Wait, were you asking, can I hear you or a video or something?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Deja, did I already take attendance? No. All right, we're only 12 minutes in, so no, I haven't taken attendance. But getting to that, how I take attendance is through putting your name in the chat box. And then I also compare that to the Blackboard report that comes out of this session showing who logged in. All right, but I do use both because sometimes people are in the class, but it doesn't show them on the report, or it shows them on the report and they forgot to put their name in the text box. So please put your name in the chat box right now. Just type your name in, click enter. That way I can have you as attended. Alicia Jones, question. Ms. Jones, you have a question? All right, so we will hold off on that for a minute. So yes, attendance is taken both of those ways. Because as we all know, the technology isn't perfect. Yes. Ms. Jones? Oh, she lowered her hand. Okay. So again, contact information here, right? Now, if you go over, also we're moving down the thing to syllabus, right? And this is, of course, where you'll find the syllabus. And let me pull it up here so we can see it. I have a feeling you can't see that. So let me share it. Okay, great. Great, Mr. Harris. Okay. All right. Oh, good. Okay. Let me just share screen too. If I can pull it up. Okay. So here is your syllabus. And a lot of this is small, so let's try and make that bigger for you. Good. Okay. Okay, most of your syllabi in the history department are going to look very similar these days. That's a new thing. But, so you're in history 232, I'm sorry, 132, which is World History Part 2. In other words, it starts at 1500. And we will start with kind of the age of exploration, so the end of the 15th century into the 16th century. And again, it is recommended that you have completed History 131 before taking the course, but it's not required. And here's all of the information that we just kind of went over. That's the TSU office. It is forwarded to my number at home, but it doesn't always work. And we don't have a TA yet, but as in, the semester just started yesterday. As soon as we get any of that information, there's usually 1 or 2 TAs for the entire history department, and we'll see if we're going to utilize them. I doubt that I'm going to utilize it for this class because there's only 12 of you, right? Pretty sure I got that. Excuse me. But some of the other sections that I teach are very large because they're American history. Excuse me. Instructor email. And honestly, text messages and email are the best way to go. Okay, but just remember when you text me who you're texting, right? And emails as well. So let's try and use a little more formal language. I don't expect your text message to be run through spell check or grammar check or anything like that. Just be respectful. All right, so here's the Blackboard information. Obviously, you know what that is because you're here. Don't use your personal emails. Please use your Tiger Mail, okay? Because it's becoming a issue with trying to keep security. So make sure that you use your Tiger Mail. All right, Deja brought up a good question. So let me just pause and give you a little warning about GroupMe's. GroupMe's are great, right? You guys can talk to each other, ask each other questions that you don't want to ask me, or ask each other those redundant questions that you might feel foolish asking me about, or questions that are answered by the syllabus, etc. GroupMe's can also be dangerous to navigate, and here's why I say this. Last semester, we had a lot of instances in which a lot of cheating was going on in GroupMe's, and once you put stuff out there on the internet, there's always a paper trail. So we had a lot of students who ended up meeting with the Dean of Student Affairs or Student Services. So just be very, very careful. Do not put anything on GroupMe that you don't want your professor to see, period. Okay, keep yourself safe. Because then when you have an instance of, and this is actually what happened, a student accidentally added the professor to the GroupMe. And so everything the students were posting on there, the professor saw. So not only were the students who were cheating in a problem, right, in trouble, but they also exposed every other student on the GroupMe to that. So every student had to be talked to or addressed. So again, they can be very, very useful tools, but like anything on the internet, just be careful. Okay, and that's the last thing we want is for this to blow up into another cheating scandal. Okay, so just be careful with GroupMe's. Again, I do recommend them. I'm just saying that, yeah, it can be difficult. Okay, so course description, blah, blah, right? You guys can read this. I'm not going to go over all that. All right, The Earth and Its Peoples is the textbook that you need. So, and it's the 7th edition. Your bookstore should have it. I sent in the order before we let out for Christmas. They may or may not have it, but that's something you'll have to check. Make sure that you get volume 2, because that's 1,500 to present. In addition to that, there are other ways to get the book. Okay. I have a copy of the book, but it is the 6th edition, so yours will not have the same picture. Okay. Apologize for that. Because I have access to it digitally, I only have the paper copy of the 6th edition. So that kind of brings up the other thing. MindTap is not required for the class. However, if you're using Cengage Unlimited, is anybody using Cengage Unlimited right now? Just put your name in the box. If you can get an old one for cheaper or free, is that all right? As long as it's only one edition back, so the 6th edition is okay. But here's my issue with the sorry. I know I'm sharing the screen. Oh, we missed it. They started. Oh, there she is. Okay, hold on. Okay, so he hasn't been sworn in yet. Let me just see if we can't get back to our syllabus. Is there an audio clip? Is there an audio to the clip we're watching? Yeah, okay, so this is the inauguration. There is, I've muted it right now, and it's on closed caption. But when we actually start to see the, sorry, inauguration, I will, or the swearing in, I will do it. I will pull it up. Okay, hold on. Get this back over here. Okay. So I want to be able to see that part. Okay. So again, back to the book. Oh, come on. What? Oh, sorry. You can use the, apologies. you can use the 6th edition. The reason I asked about Cengage Unlimited is there is a cheap way to access the book. So I'm not sure how much the book is in the bookstore. But if you want to, you can purchase the MindTap code, which is like $85, $90, and that gives you the digital version of the textbook. And so sometimes that's cheaper than buying the actual textbook. Okay. Again, we're not going to use the MindTap program, but that's the digital version of the book, so it can be cheaper. And if you're using Cengage Unlimited, you've already paid what I guess it's $200, and so you just add this one on and you get the textbook for free. So let me know if y'all have any questions about that. Sorry, I'm reading this. That's what I thought. Culture. Okay. So you've got to sign on. Here's the grading scale. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Except for the points, right? That comes for our class. We're going to be on a point scale, so 500 total points. Now, here's what we're going to do in the class. You're going to see 3 papers, primary sources. Excuse me, and we'll be going over those quite a bit. So right now we're just kind of glossing over a lot since we have a pretty short time span here. All right, historical discussion. You're going to do 5 discussions at 20 points each. Now, most of those are going to be done in class. So what I'll do is I'll use the polling option. So I'll give you like quiz questions. You choose an option. The Blackboard records all of your answers, and then the grade you get based on number of correct answers is your discussion, because it's online discussions. There's got to be an incentive for you to take the synchronous class, right, as opposed to the asynchronous class. And that is that you don't actually have to sit down and write out these discussions. You can take them in class. On the flip side to that, if you miss it, you miss it, right? So if you're not here that day, you cannot make that up. Okay. Quizzes, we're going to have 3 quizzes online. Each of those quizzes are worth 50 points for a total of 150. Midterm, 50 points, covers chapter 16 through 21. Final, similar, 50 points, covers 17 through 30. So we're doing a comprehensive exam for this class. Okay, total 500 points. So this is really what you're looking at. You'll have an assignment, sometimes 2 due each week. They're due on Sundays at 11:59 p.m. Now, there's one exception to that, maybe 2, and that is the one following the Easter holiday, because we can't have an assignment due on a holiday. So I'll go into that here. It's bigger. Okay. This week, class orientation, teach materials, read chapter 16. Your introduction discussion is due by January 31st, which is not this Sunday, but the next Sunday. Okay. Now that is not going, it's hard to explain. There's not really a grading process for that. It's did you do it? And if you did it, you will not be marked NAT. Okay. You can't grade an introduction of someone, right? So just make sure that you complete it. I will show you where to complete it. In fact, let me do that now. Okay, so this is your home page. Go to discussion board, click on that. There's your introduction discussion. 2 people have already done it. So create, I think you click on it, and then you can create a thread. Okay, so please make sure that you do the introduction discussion by a week from Sunday, which is January 31st. Anyway, back to our syllabi. sure y'all can see that. Yep. Okay. And then as the days go, right, you should be reading chapter 17. This is when our first document analysis will be due, which is the first week of February. Chapter quiz, discussion 1, document analysis 2, quiz 2, midterms, right? So these are pretty self-explanatory. Let's go to this one. So this is a time when it's not due on Sunday, it's due on Monday the 5th, because, right, we have a school holiday from April 1st to April 4th. So make sure you pay attention to that. I think everything else is due on Sundays. And then your final exam is going to be on May 3rd. Okay, so this is for NATs. Obviously not an issue for you all because you're here. But if you do not log in and submit the introduction discussion by February 3rd, you'll be automatically dropped for non-attendance. And so you don't want to be in that. Okay. The other issue too is that sometimes what happens is the payment due date and the NAT due date will happen at the same time. So you go in and you pay your bill and you think you're getting reinstated, but then you find out that you've not been reinstated, and it's because you've been dropped for non-attendance. So please make sure you take care of that. Again, I realize I'm preaching to the choir here because you're here, okay? But just be aware that that is what is happening. That's what can happen. Let's go over the late work policy real quick, sorry. All right. So you can submit late work up to 3 days after the due date. However, 10 points per day will be deducted each day the assignment is late. Again, late discussions will not be accepted. The whole point is that you interact with the people in your class. If you miss a quiz, midterm, or final exam, you have to have a university accepted excuse to make up. For the final in particular, you have to seek approval through the history department. After you talk to me, then we have to find out when and if you can take it. And that has to do with the fact that Mondays are the history department's days to give finals, and we don't want to infringe on anybody else's day to give a final. And also, there's a reason we close it down, right? We don't want to have people sharing information about the final exam. There may be up to 2 extra credit assignments. Again, there also may not. This is not guaranteed. The extra credit will be available for the entire class through Blackboard, and it will be posted on Blackboard. All right, academic misconduct policy. Now, again, probably not something I thought we should have to go over, but if last semester is any indication, we do, okay? You have to do your work on your own, okay? You have to maintain a high standard of honesty in your academic work because, right, that's what this is all about. We don't want a bunch of people out there in the workforce with TSU degrees plagiarizing everybody else. I mean, look at what happened, and this happens everywhere, by the way, but one of Melania's biggest faux pas was that her speechwriter ripped off Michelle Obama. I mean, blatantly plagiarized, so don't do that, okay? So it happens everywhere. Just do your own work. You'll be fine. It's better to do your own work and get some things wrong than try to cheat, because you're going to get caught, and then you get a 0. And nothing kills an average faster than a 0. Trust me on that one. All right, collusion, working together, unless it's approved, cheating, you know the drill. We will be having a exercise about plagiarism the next week or two so that you can identify what is and is not plagiarism. Everything you submit is going to go through a plagiarism checker, except for that first parts worksheet, but that's because that's going to be a worksheet. So moving on. And any work that's plagiarized gets a 0 the first time. If you do it again, you get an F, period. And it can't be challenged. It will go through the department and then the college. And it doesn't matter if this is 3 weeks from now or the week before final exams, right? Just don't do it. Student Accessibility Services Office, the SASO statement. So I think they changed their name recently, a year ago or so. This is important. If you need accommodations, make sure you get them, make sure you get them now, right? Accommodations are not retroactive. In other words, if halfway through the semester you realize you need accommodations, it will not affect anything you've already done. You also need to make sure that I get the accommodations and I'm aware of that, and then I will apply them. If you have any questions about how your accommodations were applied, please email me through the Tiger Mail. I will definitely let you know. Most often when I set up the online work, there will be accommodations in there if you require them. And if I have a letter of accommodation for you. And I'll let you know exactly how that works. Okay, but please contact them if you need them. And that is pretty much the standard stuff for the syllabus. Do you all have any questions about the syllabus? Concerns? Oh, there we go. Nope. All right, you guys want to hear Lady Gaga? Here we go. Oh, come on. All right. Oh, we get to see hers. All right. Okay. Sorry to mute Jennifer Lopez for a minute, but are there any questions going forward? Make sure that you do that introduction discussion. Try and get your hands, I know, right? I'll put it back on. Try and get your hands on a book, okay? Whether it's a 6th edition, whether you're going to go through MindTap, whatever you want to do. If you need it, email it to me. I mean, if you have any questions about it, email. But it's really important that you get your hands on a book very quickly because we are moving through pretty quickly. We're going to start with chapter 16. So if there aren't any questions, yes, Ms. Scott.
I'm sorry, you said my tab. What exactly
No,
is that again?
MindTap. Yeah, let me put it here. I'll put it in the chat box for you. MindTap through Cengage. So Cengage is the publisher of the book. And so MindTap is their accompanying online program, and there's assignments and stuff in there. We are not using that. Okay? You don't have to do anything through MindTap. However, it can be a cheap way to access the book. So I don't know how much it is at the bookstore. That's true. But what I can tell you is that access to MindTap for just the one semester is about $85 or $90. And then if that's the route you want to go, you just let me, and I will just let me know, and I will plug it into the course so you can access it. Okay, but otherwise, you all are free to go. I'm going to let this play. Make sure your name is in the box, and you all have a happy inauguration day. I'll see you Friday.
Hello?
Yes. Hold on. Yes.
I was trying to figure out what box we're supposed to put our names in.
Okay, it's on the chat. Have you opened up the chat? The little thought bubble. Looks like a little
Um,
thought bubble at the bottom of your screen, bottom right.
is it purple?
Could be.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.